if you like to hire someone, don't look at outfits.
Yeah.
Look the skills.
Personally, for me, I feel like if I had gone for what I love, I would have not spent 4 or 5 years studying accounting, and I would consider it as a waste of time. So I would say, dear parents watching this video,
Having educators, lecturers who only have theoretical knowledge of what they are teaching, it's a no-no.
If my father is a businessman in economy and I choose music, hey, you're gonna cost me like for all of my life.
okay, so you are welcome to another session of Youth Unmoderated Dialogue. My name is Bettina, and what do I do basically? So I train children on tech skills, specifically creative tech skills. That is tech skills that be they need to build using their creative thinking, which includes animation, comic storybook, children that loves to talk. I also train them on how they can start their own YouTube channel, and so that's why I like to call it creative technology. It's not just, when you say tech, people think it's just coding and robotics and that's all, but my own kind of tech is different from that side. So it's a pleasure to have you all here. So I guess I'll just pass the mic.
All right, my name is Frederick. I'm a tech YouTuber and also a teacher. I'm a tech educator as well. So basically on YouTube, I teach tech, I talk tech, and I'm also into tech business. Thank you. All right. So my channel is Corpo Talk Tech.
Hello, so my name is Bart Pierre. I'm a software engineer, full stack, and then I'm CEO and co-founder of X Ticket and Rise Motion Health. We work on mental health, as in Rise in Motion Health, and then in X Ticket we are making the best system of ticket. Anywhere, anytime, you have to get your ticket online or offline. Yeah, thanks.
Hello, my name is Shaka Eve. What I do, I'm an artist. I do art, and if the other people use like colors, any other thing, so for me, I use beats. Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's fantastic, Eve. So I think we should come from the angle of, since we're talking about career choices, let's look at how how our career move have actually been, from when you were young. Let's start with what you studied in school, with and compare it with what you're currently doing. I think we should start with Eve. Okay, let me start since I'm the one with the mic. All right. Okay. So I actually have medical background. I graduated from med school in 2016. I worked in the hospital for about 2 years. All right, before I pivoted into tech. I think full time in 2021. Yeah, 2021. Although I first registered my business in 2020. but then full time. I said I wasn't going to continue in the hospital, that I was going to tech full time. So, um, academic background is medical lab science, but what I'm currently doing as a career is tech. Okay.
Such a switch, like
Yeah.
from medicine
Uh,
to tech.
okay, for me, and secondly, I started construction, but it wasn't my thing because what I really wanted would be like to study like computer science, and but I even bounced. I didn't continue in construction in university. I'm in level two. I'm studying networking. So you see, and after that, when in my free time, I do art, and I take it as something which is I'm gonna keep doing. I'm not going to stop because it gives me another experience, happiness when I'm doing it. So I feel good with it, even though I'm gonna be like networking, like whatever, but I'm gonna still doing my thing, art.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
thank you.
fantastic.
Me is long story.
Let's hear it. Bring it on.
So I remember in my secondary, I used to be to someone who such many things, who likes many things, but in tech. So I used to study. I have A2 in electronic telecommunication, and then after I returned back to senior four to study computer science. So I've double the checks. So and after finishing computer science, I've seen wow, I have telecommunication, I have electronics, and I have computer. So what am I going to study in university? So I try to make it easy to go in software engineer. But I see software engineer is only on computer science only. So I search for something which is combining electronics and computer. So I choose IT, information technology. So I study. I have bachelor in IT. So after I get the masters in software engineering. Yeah, but I have many certificates on my side. But to choose that career, it's myself who choose it, not about my parent or no. It's for myself. Thanks.
Okay, so for me, I studied accounting in the university, but don't ask me any question about debit and credit. I studied accounting for
We've been
years.
a D4.
Don't even ask me. Don't even ask me about spreadsheet and Excel. So I studied accounting because of that thing of you just have to just pick a course because you want to just study something when you're done with like your secondary school, and that was how I had to just pick accounting. But then aside studying accounting, I always love to watch cartoons. There's this thing about especially animated cartoons when you're seeing tables and chairs and all these things are talking and you're wondering how did it happen. That was what even made me to fall in love with animations. I wanted to know what was the secret behind making a table and a chair to talk on Nickelodeon. Right, so it made me to I started to think of how did it happen, what was the secret behind it, and that was what just made me love tech. Basically, not like I'm not like Mr. Peter that went to study software engineer. You just watch it and then you just love it, and then you now start to make research on how it was done. And that was how I came into tech. So I would say mine was from accounting and then to tech.
So why? Why you shoot?
Well, why? Like I said, because I just love it. There's this curiosity. And adding to that, while I was even still studying accounting, I was teaching. I was teaching in a school, right? And you're seeing the whole animation thing. And by the way, when I was even teaching too, I also realized that I didn't want to like be the regular teacher that does like the addition and the multiplication. Okay, so I had to also pivot into teaching tech. All right, so you're trying to make research on a particular thing, and they are trying to see how to teach that thing, so there was just this wide experience of trying to merge everything together. So I would say the reason why I switched was because I just love it. And I studied accounting, right? But I didn't love what I was studying. I was just studying it for studying sake, right? So that's my own career journey right here. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Since you are telling stories, so
Let's not forget the topic.
yeah, it's still in the topic, right? Okay. So I said that I began as a medical practitioner before I pivoted, right? So growing up, my mom was a nurse, all right? So I'm a millennial. I think you're a millennial too. You're Gen Z. You're Gen Z, and she's Gen Z.
Gen
You're
Z.
millennial, right? Okay. So, um, so it's always very easy for millennials and even Generation X, right? Baby boomers, right? Those generations backwards before Z's and Alphas. So it was
Really?
easy for us, yeah. So it
Really?
was, yeah, of course. It was easy for us to, look around us and just try to pick choose a career based on what we see around us. Like growing up, there were only, as a Nigerian child, okay, there are three. Yes, there are three major courses, careers that we knew. Okay, it's either you become a doctor or an engineer, or who can say the third one? Lawyer. Or you become a lawyer, right? Because those are like the things that we saw as careers. So we did not actually have a good definition of what a career is. All right, we did not really have. We just know that okay, the only thing that you call career, even to be a businessman, is supposed to actually be a career, but it wasn't actually presented to us as a career, right? So you now hear the differences: white collar jobs, So my mom was a nurse, so I just, because of the medical things that happened around me, I would go to the hospital with her and all that. So, but I did not know that that wasn't actually what I was supposed to go into. But because of that inspiration from my mom being a nurse, okay, what else is closer to? Because you think that nurses are for women, then doctors are men. So, and if you're not a doctor, maybe you can go to the middle, pharmacists, medical scientists, and all that. So I said, okay, maybe I should. Well, I tried to actually go to medical school. So sorry, to become a medical doctor, but I couldn't get the admission the first time I tried, and the reason was they lost accreditation. The university I wanted to apply to lost accreditation. So I said, okay, what's the next thing? That was literally it. What's the next? So there's also medical lab science. To be honest, the only time I realized what I was studying was in my year three.
So the first 2 years was for
So year one is general studies, right? So you study different science courses. Then year two is what we call general medical practice. So we study physiology, medical biochemistry, everything about medicine. It is now your year three. You now major in what you're studying. So that is when we go to the labs. Oh, these are the medical labs. Oh, because we only knew medical doctors and nurses. Those are the people we thought, So moving on, I went for what we call clinical posting. I think that was in my year three. That was actually when I read, oh, these are the people called, they go and diagnose. So it's actually medical scientists that do the diagnosis, not doctors. Do you know? All right. So I said, so these are the guys. Oh, okay. So these are like the people that work in the background, but patients come and meet with a doctor, and oh, wow, that's nice. So what is it about? Okay, you mix this and work with different human excretes, okay, and all that. So moving on to your final year and graduating, and then going to actually work in a hospital. I was like, wait, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, because I don't like that rudimentary life. I like to explore. I'm an explorer. I like to, you're here trying out this, but as a medical scientist, right, it's always like we work in benches. So the sample is collected, you take it to the particular equipment spec, and then you carry out the sample, the result is out, you give the result, and then it just goes like that. Okay. It just goes like that. So I didn't like that. Okay. Then I was like, other things that I was not able to do was now picking up tech skills. Right. I believe we're still going to talk more about that. Picking up skills. Why? Still in university. Although I felt like I started late. Okay, because all the things I used to say to myself is, if I actually started when I got into year one, maybe if I started a YouTube channel at year one, I would have been a millionaire by now. But we didn't know all of these things. We didn't know all of. We just wanted to go through school, and probably let school not even go through you. All right. Then after that, I said, wait, I needed to do other things with my life. That was when I discovered phones. Right. I discovered phones because I actually got a phone at a very young age, although it was just the mobile phones, right? At 12, that was the first time I got a gift of mobile phone. And then since then, it's just been, from the time of mobile phones, just the cell phones of 3310s. Do you know 3310? Okay.
No, no.
Do you know Nokia 1600?
Yeah.
But Nokia, I know that.
You know Nokia, but you don't know 1600. Do you know 2600? 2700. I'm a bit- All right. So we just kept moving. I just kept moving from one to a Java phone to a Symbian. Do you know Symbian phone?
Sliding one.
No, it's not just flips. It's not. It wasn't flips, but those were the first test of a smartphone. Those were the first test of a smartphone. All right, from Java phones, then Symbian phones, then smartphones, starting with um, Samsung Galaxies to iPhone 1, 2, and going on. Yeah, to iPhone 17. Okay, so I just fell in love with the device and I started exploring it beyond measure. And I was like, wait, I can actually do something out of this. Okay, so that was where I started vesting more research and interest on how to explore beyond what we actually think mobile phones are for. And from there, I built a business from it, and then here I am in tech fully, right? So how I got into tech, so how I got in just the career was parental influence. Not like my parents actually said you should do this. No, I just saw my mom trying to. If I tell you other things I wanted to do because of the big names, but thank God I did drop it at medical lab science. Eves, how did you move from construction to art?
Okay, for me, even construction, like the way just my parent, the one who told me like to go in construction. Firstly, you know how to draw, and in construction you draw.
Yeah.
So you will end up being like an architecture.
Okay.
And
Yes.
when I reached there, and I say like, okay, drawing was there, but it wasn't like I studied because my mother told me, like my father told me, and they told me like construction won't end. People will always like yeah. So I say okay, fine, let me do it, but it wasn't my thing. So in 2020, there's the time that I was walking and I see like somebody with beads, like those bracelets, and I say, I usually see people drawing using paint and the other things, and I say, why can't I like bring another unique way? Then my sister, yeah, the second sister, used to ran to or went to study uh, Nyundo, like to the school of art. So I said, in one like after that day I was walking, I said, okay, fine, let me use some beats and see what's gonna come out. So I did it like for like trying to for fun to see it actually. So it ends up like it's been like it's like I saw something in it, and I say first time you do something which is horrible, kind of, So after that, I started doing it mostly, and now the level I'm on right now it's pretty good. Even people tell me like, how did you like bring this idea? Like, so even people sometimes, you do your thing. Sometimes take me like 2 months while I'm doing like 1 out or 1 month. Then people tell me, you know what? How do you precise the price? Then I say, it all depends, like even how I'm feeling. There's sometimes you see like if I say my truly price, people gonna say, hey, she will like gonna be shocked. So I reduce the price. Then people say me, hey, this is so race. It's not like equally to your out. Then I say put higher. Then when people tell me that, it gives me like courage to continue like doing more better than what I expect. So there is those two ways that I bounced up to art. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that's fantastic. I hope it's not looking like I'm the moderator. They said unmoderated.
It's fine.
But going back to the topic, right? Career choices are a message to educators, parents, employers. So it's like if we break that down, educators and employers are like the external factors, but then the internal factor is the home, parents. Okay, I said because of my mom being a nurse, so it was almost looking in my heart like this is the person that should be the medical doctor. And guess what? The smart ones in the house or in the classroom are always the one they expect to do the one they call professional courses. So you're so good with math, engineer. You like arguing, law. You're so quiet and calculated, medical doctor. So is that really supposed to be a yardstick in choosing, like for parents to, choose a career for their children?
I don't think so. Because I remember in my childhood, I used to be the electronic technician of electronics device. It's okay. So I used to be the technician of electronics device, like telephones. I make the speakers in the something which is so. When my father sees something I have done that way, my father was break the TV, so I used to repair using the other screen for the phones. I put together and make something. Oh, I switch on. Oh, it's work. Okay, let me show my palette. So after showing him, he tell me, "You are the engineer. From now, you're an engineer." And then my uncle sees that. He tell me, you have to go in the military." Ah! I say, what? Hey, it comes. So after years from the primary to the secondary, I used to be the DJ, disc joker,
A lot of things.
because I like music. Every time if I have something, I have to listen to music. I used to be the disc joker. I get my first job in Primus Kumaguma sponsor. It was the generation first for the youngster. And then after getting that, I said, wow, nice price. 300 Rwandan francs. Oh, on my age, 15 years. Oh, wow, this is amazing. This is my job. I'm going to be a billion. Hey, okay. So after finishing O level, I come to the secondary. So I'm this joker. I'm millionaire on my pocket. So what am I supposed to do? I remember in my childhood, I used to be a technician. So if I was a technician, this is my career. So I chose electronics and telecommunication. I study, I finish it, but I didn't get something. I, didn't- even the something which is less to do something on the phone. So, hello. So I get, wow, what am I doing here? I see I know how to use my PC. Why I don't study the computer science? So I chose again to go back to study computer science full. And then I study and then I finish. Wow. I get my first job from 300 again. Oh my god, that was amazing. Again, so I tried for 1 years. After 1 years, I get my bachelor in 2021, and then I think, what am I supposed to do? Am I going to be an employer or I must be an employee? So my idea coming to my head is to make the company. So that night, I used to think, which company, which name, what am I supposed to do? What am I? Eh, too many things. And then after 2 days, I get some idea because I like basketball. I want to be the one who is behind the ticket there at BK Arena, anywhere they play basketball. I always be the back end. So I used to take my idea to make it. I do the research. I seen the carrier of a ticket. Eh, there's many problems. Even the moms, the dads, they say ticket is not real. Okay, let me do it for you. I decided to make the company for the ticket. So I built the ticket company as X ticket. Now it's on market. I'm trying to make it real. And then in that way I have find my friend who have some problems, issue of metal, and then I use, what am I supposed to do? On he or she? So I chose to make something which is very important to anyone or anyone who want a mental illness to be fighting for the mental illness he have or she have. And then I chose to make Red Emotional Health app. That was the app that will make you chat on it. It is AI powered. So you go and write your things, what you have, how you done, your past, and then after giving the information, you start chatting with it with two dialogues on your phone, and then what you have said, the content you have make it or the chat you have make it, it's stored on your Google Drive. No way you can find you are secure. So I make it. So I see my brother. He tell me, "This is a good idea. Can I make it for you?" I think so. So I remember that time he was something which is struggle, having something issue in the family. I tell him, "Do you remember that time?" Yeah. You tell me your problem. Yes. So this is the solution for your problem. You see? He tell me, my brother, this for me or what? This for you. It's not for anyone. This for you. But I my friend used to make the research. They have many mental illness here around worlds. There are many problems. So we decide to make it global. Anyone can have it, can use it anytime you want, online, offline. It's okay. Yeah, yeah. So this is my way of my life. My journal is this. I used to make something which is the solution of every problem we have. Thanks.
Interesting. All right. So now, based on all that we've said, we can then say that career is a personal decision. Yes, a personal choice, because you had Frederick had parents in the medical background, but is not a doctor. You wanted to do construction, but now you're doing something else. So at the end of the day, we would not say excuse me, we would not say it is parents that would then decide which career choice their children um can take, although they can like lead the paths. I have parents that I have friends rather that they are doing what their parents told them to do, what their parents said, go and study this, they studied it, and at the end of the day it paved way for them. And there are some of us, as we are speaking right now, that it was not our parents that made us to choose the career that we are currently in. Because for me, I don't have a parent that was an accountant. Like, I just chose accounting personally, and then I just switch to tech. So still in line with our conversation and the message to parents, that sometimes you may not be able to point directly to your child and say, because you usually fix the television when it goes bad, you should and must be an engineer. You must be an engineer. Or because you are like the quiet person. When I was even growing up, I used to sometimes be quiet, but as I grew up, I realized that I'm not even a quiet person. I can talk. So now imagine my parents that say, go and be a lawyer because we notice that no, not even a lawyer, go and be a doctor because we notice that you're a quiet person, you're calm, you're reserved. I'm sure by now the hospital I may be working in, maybe the hospital would have collapsed by now, right? So now it brings me back to say that parents can decide and also can't decide, because you really cannot tell the your child's future just by what they see. They can see something today and tomorrow they've pivoted into something else. And also the school, that's for the educators. Now, we usually have this saying that don't just go to school, allow the school to go through you. And we have people that they've studied a particular course, graduated, and somehow they could not find a job that is in line with that course that they study. In Nigeria, where I came from, you can study, yes, you can study banking and finance, but at the end of the day, you would realize that you're not even working in the bank. Maybe you are working as a marketer or as a sales executive in one company, and it looks like all the time that you spent in the school was a waste. But I would not say it's a waste, because somehow you were still able to pick one or two things, right? But then, should we now then say that the university is not a will not decide the kind of career that you're going to become? Because when we are growing up, it's always go and study this in the school, and when you study it, you become it. But nowadays, it seems like even when you go to study it in the school, you don't become it. So, what exactly is the solution? Because we really need to know what exactly the solution is. So, I think we should just like shed more light on this, because it's very, very important.
Yeah, so I want to come from the part of the world that we came from, okay? Because I realize that in Rwanda here, once you're out from high school, you can just say you want to go to University of Kigali. You just go apply, pay your tuition. That's how you do it, right? So, but in Nigeria, we have 200 million people plus in Nigeria, and at the end of every third term, there will be hundred. Let me not say hundreds. There will be millions of children that are graduating from secondary school. Okay, but the way they enter into university is different from how it is here or other parts of the world. There is an examination body called JAM, which is Joint Administration Matriculation Board. All right. So that board, exam board, you would write the exam, you write the examination, okay, and then you apply and say, okay, I want to study medicine and surgery in this university. I want to study or medicine and surgery is in this other university or this. So you write it for them. So they will now give you an exam that you will now take. Okay. Now there is what we call cutoff mark. All right. So cutoff mark is a certain a certain score that qualifies you for a particular course, right? So for instance, medicine and surgery professional courses, they always have higher cutoff points. All right, so you could say it's supposed to be over 400. So medicine and surgery might say our cutoff point is 250, 300, 200, 350. Yeah, so the higher the cutoff point, the closer you are to clinching that course. All right, now that doesn't end there. So maybe you have clinched 350, all right, over 400, all right, in jam. That's good. So yeah, you now qualify for this particular university. All right. So you now go to that university, say, hey, I now have 350 over 400. The university say, we are not sure. We'll give you another exam. So that exam is called, what's it called again? Post UTM. So post jam. So you've written jam, there is post jam. So in that post jam, they'll now say, okay, I wrote when I first applied for medicine and surgery, I got 210. Yes, so but the cutoff point was around 200. Now, what happened in that university during the post jam, the next exam by the school? All right, so they would now say, okay, you guys that said you got 300 over 400, that means you guys are super smart. Stay in this room. All right, then you guys are got 300 to 350. Okay, stay here. Then these people that got 200 to 300, stay here. All right, because they will say, are you sure you're the one that wrote this exam? So you prove it to us. All right, or someone wrote the exam for you. So what they will do is for 350 to 400, they will give them, say, the same exam but shorter time. All right. Shorter time. So the normal time is 1 hour. So 350 to 400, super smart, 30 minutes. So 300 to 350, okay, the middle class, 45 minutes. Now the ones that they say this should be the people that probably wrote the exam, 1 hour. All right. So after everything, they will now stream the this thing, the number again down to what they say, okay, these are the ones that qualifies for this course. Now when I wrote my first post jam in, this should be like this is now 15 years ago. Wow.
Jesus.
That was in 2010. This is 2025. So I wrote my first time in 2010, 15 years ago. Wow, that's quite surprising. So we were 10,000 candidates. I don't forget this story. We were 10,000 intending medical and medicine and surgery um, aspirants. Okay, 10,000. Now 9,800 people, they are has come to the end of the road for that particular course that they wanted to study. All right. So what do they do? Now, some we, I know someone that have written this post jam for 9 years before he finally got into university. And it's also because if you say I must study this course, I must study this course. Okay, 9 years. So 9 times means nine, because the this thing is once in a year. So if you say I must study medicine and surgery, so you try the first one, you go again, you try the next, try, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Now the ones that say maybe this is not the path for me, they will now pivot medical lab, or if they don't even find anything in the medical faculty again, they will now switch to science courses like microbiology, biochemistry, or something, right? So you see how school actually have dictated that part. But this is for the part of the world that I come from, all right, which is not so in many places. Like Iran is not the same thing. But guess what? There are 200 million people that this is the fate that they have in choosing a career, and that is where schools in Nigeria need to actually do better, right? Now let's talk about now that you are in school. Okay, now you're in school. Maybe you're now studying to become an engineer, for instance, maybe a software engineer, right? Are schools actually teaching the students, in order to actually present them as people who are meant to, from graduating, you can now go and start actually doing something without having to go for a further training or mastery, all right, or masters? Can we like graduate a child sorry, a student after 3 4 years, and then the person just goes into the the labor market, and then is employable. What do we say about that?
For me, I have like a bit of information about it because there is some universities when you reach in, like there's like Awoka, Kepler, thing like that. When you finish up, that's what some information. I don't know if it's real or no. So you reach in after finish up. You like they assign you where you're going to have that internship. So if you do well that internship, so they get your information, and after your school, you get there. They call you to go there, or sometimes they take you in, like you study while you're walking to, because they saw that your capacity, you're good in it. So it's kind like facilitating, like youngs or who are it's something which is good to in our society, like in Rwanda. So in that thing that you were saying, pretty right here they give you like some other chances to keep it up. So it's not like I can't say that it's all the university that give that opportunity, but what I know, like some schools which are really, let me say, like serious, they're able to do that. So that's what I can say about it.
My
Thank you.
question is, those schools, this particular school that when you're done, you also have the opportunity to work. Now, do we say those schools are more expensive than the regular university? Because sometimes these people will tell you, if you give us $1,000, we are very certain that when Eve graduates, is going to go work with Forbes, or is going to go work with the Rwanda government. So now, because we need to also look at that, because some people may say, okay, they want to go to the university, but somehow they can't afford it.
Yeah.
So it means that if they then go to a less amount university, they need to like really struggle to make good grades, to get good marks, to have good people that would then take them for the internship and all of that. Yeah.
So about that, like, for those particular schools, they're really like on high. So,
That's why.
but like there's another school, but it's not that's that high in like school fees thing, the payments, But what I know, they have like they have partnership with the other companies, but it's not even that those companies not that high. But exactly, it's a job is job. So they have those partnership, so they when you do better in your class, so they say, okay, we have these numbers of, they are 3, they are 4, they are 6, 10, so they are able, so they give those numbers to those companies, so they say like this one, if they finish up or in time, they are like it's possible that they can study while they're working too, so they do that, they deal or make that contract thing. So it's not like available to all the university, but what I know is like those there's some of those universities that have that's yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so now we've spoken in regards to educators and parents. I think we need to now speak on the employer side. Okay.
Before we switch to employers, I think message for educators should be about the curriculum. Okay, so one of the questions I asked was, is it possible for a student, a graduate, all right, to quickly move from school and then he or she is capable of handling real time job? All right. Say, for instance, that I studied accounting. All right. Does the curriculum that we have, you know, qualify me to graduate from school today, and then I go work at BK, Bank of Kigali, and then they'll now tell me whatever you studied is outdated. We need to put you on a 1 year training, 6 months training, 3 months training, right? So I think the message for educators is that we need to constantly keep updating curriculum. This is something that I actually think that it doesn't have. When I was in high school, one of my teachers, my biology teacher, said he used to say it boldly, and it was later on in life that I realized that he was saying something very stupid. I hope he's censored. Right? So he would say, this particular note that I'm using to teach you have been here for the past 10 years. And guess what? If you actually go to your predecessor, the people that have gone ahead of you and collected their note, it will be the same thing. Word for word. All right. And no upgrade, nothing, right? So the educators school need to actually make sure that curriculums that we learn in school, that students go through, would qualify them to get a job, all right, and then practice without having to go for another training,
Yeah, yeah.
right? It's okay for people to actually train you on their company's modus operandi and all that, but I cannot learn accounting and then I come to work in your company and I notice that you have a totally different thing. So which means everything I learned, it was even better I just get the job and then you train me and then I work for you for free. Right? At least I work for you for free for 4 years. Yeah, you have something to say.
I think that have like in schools or and those companies that they are going to work in, like if it's in accounting,
Yeah.
there's some banks say like our usually schedule, our system is in this way, is it works in this way. So if there's a student really willing to be in accounting, so they have to learn this. They have to get out of the school when they know this, because if they don't know this one, they ain't gonna get like any job, So they give like the um, schedule, the way students have to learn this one, because it's the way, it's what we do, is what they're going to do in a business, in a bank or whatever. So that thing has to be there.
Yeah.
So that it can facilitate those one who are in school to if they get out, they know what they're going to do. If like they're not again going to enter in the bank or in a company, and they even train them again. So and maybe even they reach there in that company, there's another fees they have to pay for that training too. So it's really like not fair, you know.
Exactly. And having educators, lecturers who only have theoretical knowledge of what they are teaching, it's a no-no, right? You can't come teach me what you've not done before, right? Because practice makes perfect. Okay, so if all that you're teaching in class have been something that Mr. A researched 18 years ago, Mr. B, what about you? Have you gone to those places and say, okay, I'm an accounting lecturer. I went to Bank of Kigali to look at the new ways they are accounting, so I will take it back to school, all right? And let it not just be books that were written years ago by white people. You just passed it down, and then we are not being updated, in the curriculum. Yeah.
So, but let us go in software. There is many companies here in Rwanda who use the software, guys, but they make them unhappy. How? You are going to school, get the educated, and then after you get the degree, and then bring on to apply for the job. And then after, they tell you, if you don't have this certificate, go on Coursera and then study this and this and this and this and this. After getting that course, bring the certificate, you will get the job. And then remember that Coursera one course is about 300 to 400 USD. Can you imagine? I'm
And
the
you have
bro-
gone to school to study.
Not fair. So even the curriculum from the school, can you imagine the here in Africa we are back in time,
Exactly. Like
That's true.
we are 20 years behind.
maybe hundreds. Why? Let me show you. Let us look. Our English is updated. Our language, our mother language is updated.
Yeah.
Why mathematics is not updated?
Updated.
Why history is not updated?
You know, I'm still waiting for a life, a stage in my life where I'm going to use the almighty formula to solve the problem. Yeah. I'm still waiting. Yes, I'm still waiting to plot plus or minus b. Okay, all right. Oh, that's the solution.
Yeah, not Grimm's log and the cut time and cosine.
Yeah. So the education guys have to upload the new things on us.
Yeah.
So go in the market, look out what are they needed on the market, what they need the company or any kind, what they needed, what are the knowledge they needed. So they bring it on the school, they update the curriculum, and then after finishing my school, I got to get the job.
Yeah.
Easy way.
Swift.
True.
Yeah, this is my point. But if you look at another career like a motorcycle,
Yeah.
driving a car, it's normal. It's number one. Why? Why in the medical? Why not? They can update the
Yeah.
curriculum.
Update. Yeah.
Can you imagine? You go, you are educated in which one? In the labo,
Okay,
and
in the
then
lab,
you have studied the something which was written in
Yeah.
2000, and then yeah, 2025, the lab was updated. It have the AI technology that will mix something.
Right.
You don't know how to use it.
Yeah. If
Come
you-
on.
for my colleagues that work abroad, right? They said that when they got to the lab in the West, it looked as if they didn't go to school at all, because because we were trained with manual everything. Everything was manual. Collecting blood sample, manual. Everything was manual, right? I saw one technology online. I was like, oh my god. So now, if you go to the lab for them to collect blood sample from you, so they will have to start beating your hand, rubbing different thing to find your vein. But this technology, once you paste it, it will separate arteries from vein, and all you need to do just insert the needle. But that technology is not here, right?
And it could be very
But-
expensive too.
But it's not expensive there.
Not expensive.
It's not expensive there. It will look expensive here. But even you may actually think it's expensive, but by the time it's brought in, you notice that it's not expensive. It's just that in Africa we just like to suffer. Okay, sorry. So yeah, because if we don't, because an average African man actually still believes that when you use machines, when you automate things, it's not going to be as good as when it is manually done.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
washing machine.
Like washing, some people still believe that washing machines don't wash as well as when you wash it with your hand.
No.
You see?
Let me give you an example.
Wanna know, like, on those things like washing machine, you know.
We're not talking about washing machines.
I read it like for them, for the abroad one, you know. They don't have like those like those streets that we pass through. Their clothes ain't that's dirty.
Yeah.
But here in Africa, eish, even the kid, in a few minutes when she or he wears something like new, hey, 2 minutes or 3 minutes already dirty. You know, so for us it's really hard that
That
yeah.
washing machine is going to do.
Maybe you wash it like 3 times, pass it 3 times.
Three times or four times. One, two, three, four, four basket within water inside. And then so let me give you an example. One time in 2024, in August, yeah, I was hiring some people, guys, from the marketing side. So that one, all of them was 10, and then you have degree A0 in marketing. And then I asked them, do you know how our technology work? No. They tell me no. And then, do you have something which is interesting? Do you have on your side or something which you have make it in your past years? No. And then, so you have to tell me something which is new on me without using the exam for jobs or what. No. Tell me the new and what you bring on the table. Someone who was serious tell me what I know the curriculum have studied. So don't ask me anything outside. Jesus. Ask myself, what am I supposed to do on it? Can you imagine? You know the curriculum, but the curriculum from what? 2005. Jesus, you are 2025. Almost 15 years. Jesus. Ah. And then ask him, what's going on? Do you have a job or you have tried or something? No. How did you choose this career? Because of my parents work in Barigua somewhere, and then my mother works somewhere there, and then okay. So what am I supposed to do? Can I give you a job? No, you have to train me. You have to give me something which is new. So I tell them, let us see what's going on. In education, have some problems. You have to fix it. Maybe the curriculum is not updated real on time, but you can update them. So why not? We can make something which is new as Africans, make some school which is upgrading the curriculum and then updating our knowledge and make us high level of education and then within the social communication. Because I use WhatsApp every time, I use Instagram, but you don't know how to make a thing. And then I'm studying marketing. What's going on? We have to make something which is new that will help us, our generation or our future generation, to come back within new knowledge, new design, and then new responsibility on it. And then bring something which is confidence in them. That way, it will help them to bring something which is new on the table. This is the way you have to make it.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yes, yes, Peter, you're very correct. So I think based on what you said, we should then now, channel our conversation to employers. Now, as let's maybe we should assume or we should put ourselves in an employer's shoe. You want to employ someone in a particular career, and maybe the person studied this particular course and all of that. Just like you said, the person studied the curriculum, but the person doesn't have the experience outside the curriculum. So now, who should we employ? Do you want to employ someone that maybe went for a training and the person just got the skill and then the person can do the work? Or are we employing people that went to the school to study? Now that we've come to realize that some of the curriculums that we even have in the universities are not updated, right? And then you need to now go for like a separate training before you can be able to fit into a company. So now let's put ourselves in the shoes of employers. What can we do?
Okay, for me, what's about the employees, like if Um, but we have another problem about it. So you come from the school, you know, you finished up, you know, university or your secondary. Then when you're going to ask for a job, they tell you have to come with an experience of 2 years. You see, that's the problem.
Like from where?
See?
How?
So there's one problem. So, yeah. So another thing, outside here, when you finish up the school, um, they have to be one way or another way to have a job. Firstly, rings. You know, somebody like you told me like there's a job at our office. So you come over with their CV. You have to bring this and this and this. So another way, um, maybe the owner
Of the
say
company.
the company says I want I go to my friend, I go to my family, you know, I want somebody who run this, even if he or she doesn't know that are gonna have like a training time, then she teach them, then they run. And exactly, there's somebody there who learn it, you know, very well with high level about it, and he or she is sitting there, or she or he really applied in that company and says there's no space for you, there's no position for you.
The person doesn't
So
have the links.
it's a problem there. So there have to be that like changes of mentality about it. So that's like people who really are qualified for that, they're gonna have that job, and they reduce that thing of experience, because it's not like you never know somebody who you're stopping to come in your company, what he's able to do in your company, you know. So they have to be, I don't know, if there can be like a machine to, you know, like in the future which is coming, like there will be like a machine which is going to look into you like and say, okay, this one's qualified, get in.
So now maybe we should then say that's the message to educate to employers rather,
Yeah.
that aside from the fact that you need this person for this particular job, look beyond links, family and friends, and look for people that really know the work and can do the work, and not say because Frederick is my friend, I will just take Frederick's
Yeah.
son and then just train him. I guess that would then be like the message to employers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
And like another points that I can say about those things, job and things like that, it's like as I said before, like they go to the universities, you know, they say we want people who are able in this one, accounting, IT, things like that, the one who the best scholar, you know, we need them. So instead, this could be like another way of like reducing people there who are sitting while they are capable of doing that. So it's really another mentality changing to be like, you know, updated. Let me say like that. Yeah, thank you.
So, sometime in 2022, I think, um, we had an interview that had some people that came around for the interview in Nigeria, and so out of everybody that came, there was one guy. This guy showed up, um, roughly dressed. He was wearing, was it sandals or slippers? He wasn't wearing shoes. The trousers were just there. He was wearing a t-shirt, all right, and then he was carrying a bag. A bag. It was looking like he's been chased from somewhere. He just ran in. I thought, oh wow, there's an interview going on. Yes, I. All right. So, but I paid attention to that guy amongst every other person in the table. They're like, oh, why you not? I said, wait, let's listen to this guy first. All right. And the story was that he's traveling from somewhere, although that there was no excuse that he actually gave why he showed up looking that way that would have said, okay, yeah, it's you're pardoned, right? Because you just can't show up unprepared. It already says a lot about you if you're hired, all right? But I took interest in him. I said, wait, let's listen to this guy. So we gave him an opportunity. So teach us. He was supposed to, he was interviewing, applying to be one of our instructors to teach Python, to teach programming in schools. So we said, okay, go ahead, let's see what you have. And he delivered the class, the subject perfectly well, but physically he didn't look like it. Okay, he didn't look like it. And then his CV, he hadn't gone to university. He had already taken, it's done with high school, and then took some courses, external third party courses, not like known universities and all that. And then what he was also able to deliver was convincing. All right, so we hired him. We hired him among some other people. But guess what? 2 3 years down the line, he became one of the best staffs that we hired. Yeah. Okay. So what did that teach me? Although I'll also talk about the other side of, because I've sat in a lot of interview rooms. So I hate interviews. That was also why I became a boss myself. I hate interviews. I
Me
hate
too.
one-on-one. Okay, sit. So we are going to start throwing questions at you. So whether it's good and just answer. During my professional exam, in medical professional exams, there are 3 stages of the exam. There is what we call the theory exams, the practical, and what we call viva. That is oral interview. So you have a lot of medical practitioners. They'll just sit down and start throwing questions at you. So that was so frightening. So I got two, and in that exam, you cannot get 2/3. You must get 3/3 to pass. I got 2/3 because I failed that one. And failed, all right? Then I wrote it again and passed. Okay, I hate interviews, all right? Because it puts a lot of anxiety and everything in me. So that's why I'd like to sit down with the HR and we interview people, okay? So I sat down with him. He was agitated and everything. I said, hey, calm down. I can understand, all right? I just had to calm him and everything. He had all the qualifications and all, dressed so well and everything. But I said, okay, let's just give this guy. Maybe he's quite good. But do you know, within 2 3 months, this guy sent a very insultive resignation letter that he has gotten another job and he cannot stay where we pay peanuts when there is another problem. You see, all right. So what am I trying to say? Employers need to actually look beyond what we call the statutory hiring requirements. What are the statutory hiring requirements? You should have gone to a known university. If you look, actually, you notice that they always say you either have a PSc, MSc, what C, right? They forget that in 2025, in this 21st century, there are people who don't go to known block four walls university that study on Coursera, that
Yeah,
study on Udemy,
it's
right?
true.
That pick up courses online, but these guys are good, right? They only have, secondary degree, and then they have taken a lot of courses, done lots of real-time projects, but we still want to prefer people with master's degree, doctorate degree, BSc as the people who qualify, and maybe that they now have 1800 years of experience and all that, forgetting these other people who are actually, because I see people who leave secondary school and then go start taking courses online on their own as the more passionate people to that course or for that course than people who probably just went to university because everybody's going and they just have to go and then went through and then came out. And because if you did the other side, it means you're taking a more personal responsibility to your growth, right? Because the difference between self-paced courses and then university curriculums is that for you to actually complete a self-paced course, you must be a really disciplined person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must be a really disciplined person. So you need to like always bring yourself and take your class and then do the project and then carry out some things. These are people who are independent. And one of the best staff you can hire are people that are independent. Okay. So when employers look beyond these statutory requirements, right, and then start going unconventional, right? Start going for people who are, they didn't take all of this, but then they still have all of these other qualifications. They've been taking different volunteering, right? People that volunteer, you don't just neglect those parts of the CVs, all right, because you're looking for the what has already been stated, right? Because education in 2025 has changed. It's no more just about going to a school or going to college. Now people take courses that are still in line with what they want their career to actually be about. So when we give such people opportunity, right, we actually end up having giving people a better chance at getting a career that they choose.
That's better. But here in Africa, we have some problem about the companies or employer and employees. So let us take this example. When you are going to hire, what are your requirements? So you look the smart guy, you see this is the he have something which is value on it. And then you see some guys who is poor, wearing some t-shirts, paint. Yeah, it's not good enough. And then he has the skills,
Yeah.
but he don't know.
You didn't even give him a chance.
Yeah, you don't give it him chance. And then after several times you will get that guy was come the someone which is the best here and best what. So I was wondering to tell you, if you like to hire someone, don't look at outfits,
Yeah.
look the skills.
Well, it doesn't mean people should dress.
Yeah, so are you saying now that I want to go and work in BK, I could just wear like a vipped pants, I just
No. I didn't say that.
uh-huh.
So
Please, you need to correct that.
no. Just let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me give you an example. I was going to somewhere who have the jobs, and then there was a hiring, down there at Gishoshu, and then he was seated with someone who is smart within there. Wow. And then within salt, you see, within some kind of shoes which is very expensive, and there after the examination of hiring, the result come. The one who was wearing expensive sticks, Jesus, he come as the last. Come on. Say, so you are putting something expensive, you don't know how but me putting my Jordans and then my paint, my t-shirt, I look smart in that. So I come to to apply the job, and then you refuse to give me the job, and then you give me some guy from the expensive things. What a day! No. Why they look that things? Why? And then after some years, your company is firing down there, and then you are saying, so we have something which is not working well. So we have to remove that things in our heads. This is the point. I'm going to senior 4, and then they have French, senior Rwanda, what? Jesus, come on. Can you imagine?
If I want to learn IT or like computer, let me start and from nursery until.
Do you know the computers very well? If they dismantle the computers right now, all the buttons are all over the place. Can you couple it together?
What if your child's first step into school was their very first step into the future? At Akon's International School, every classroom is a launchpad. Every child uniquely known. Every lesson a spark of discovery. Our world-class facilities, including the guided reading program, don't just build skills, they build confidence. From sports to science, from music to languages, your child is never boxed in. Clean spaces, Happy faces, global minds rooted in care. Because at Acorns International School, wellness, discipline, and joy go hand in hand. We offer Cambridge International program from early years to A levels. Choosing a school isn't just an academic decision, it's a decision about trust, care, and possibility. Imagine more for your child. Choose us today. Because at Acorns International School, we inspire and empower. Welcome to Acorns International School, Kigali.
Okay, so as we gradually wrap up, still on the same career choice, I guess we're just going to pass the mic. We're going to speak on parents, on educators, and on employers. Like just few messages that we just have to pass across. For me, to parents, when it comes to career choice, I would say that parents should allow their children to choose based on their what they love, based on what they feel comfortable with. Because personally for me, I feel like if I had gone for what I love, I would have not spent 4 or 5 years studying accounting, and I would consider it as a waste of time. So I would say, dear parents watching this video or watching this conversation, please allow your children to make their choice. Let them grow. Let them make mistakes, because it is even in the mistakes that we are able to learn. All right, that's my own message to parents.
Okay, so my message to parents, I want to bring back passion over profits. You know, you said something about a job where they would thrive in. Okay, now if we check something that's happening in the job market about people constantly changing jobs in the search of a better pay, greener pasture, right? And all of this is actually, the foundation was what the parents had already put. If you go, if you study music, in Nigerian language they'll say who music app, all right. There's no money there. You need to go for where you're going to be comfortable. Have a good paying, a well paying job, get married, give birth, raise your children, grow up, grow old, die, right? So we need to, parents need to prioritize educating or advising their children about what they are passionate about. Because if we see employees that thrive, they are usually people who are passionate, people who tie the career with their life purpose. This is something that we have missing in offices, right? We have a lot of people who tie career to profit, to fat checks, right? Over people who tie their career with what they are passionate about. Because there's something about thriving in a job, and you can't thrive in a job when all you're looking at is how much comes to your bank account at the end of the week or at the end of the month. All right, the only way you can thrive as a career person is when you tie your career with your passion or with your life purpose. So when you are advising your children, dear parents, especially the average home parents or the lower income parents, because the higher income parents don't really care, right? The one of the richest men in Nigeria, the daughter is a DJ. You can't try that if you come from a low income family, right? So we need to, advise the children more about career paths that is congruent, that is in line with your passion, with your life purpose. That's my message to parents.
So, as my message on the parent, let them feel what they want. Let them fly. Even they fly, they get some what they want or experience anything they they will see. That is my message.
For my message to parents, what I can say is like they leave their choices to their children and they try up even to support them.
Exactly.
Because if they support them, they're gonna be like so like they're gonna love what they're doing, what they choose. You know, there's sometimes like as I said, if my father is a businessman in economy and I choose music, hey, it's gonna cost me like for all of my life. So if our parents really support us in any field that we want to be in, they could be like a more developed. We could be more developed, in Africa because of that. But for right now, like me, um, in my primary, we used to sing. Me, my brother, my sister, we used to sing. But um, we stopped it because of parents. They told me no. Firstly, study. Then after, you go to another thing. And exactly to stop us. Until now, nobody in the family is trying not to do that because already they sometimes when you had like like a push. They used to take us to the studio to produce a song. Like we have like three songs, but because it's that pass, we don't even remember some verses of it. So it's moved on, It's moved on, and we no longer like have that idea to do that. So if parents really was having that mentality to go on to support the children in any field that they choose, it could be better. We could have, you know, and even schools. When I'm going to the school
Yeah,
thing,
no, you could just pick it so that you could just do the to educate us and then you
yeah.
just go like this.
So
Yeah.
to educators, like schools, like let me say to government. So to government, they have to invest in if a kid is growing up doing like mechanics. So parents says our child, you know, is willing to go to mechanics. So let's be the school of primary. They start for you let me say nursery.
Yeah, yeah.
Starting from nursery, studying about
Interesting.
mechanics, and if it goes to like computer, they start in that way. But right now, you grow up, you go to study math, what everything you studied, you know,
And you don't even
and
end
it
up
ends
using
up
it.
even and you end up even that one that you choose in like in here we study in senior four. You start to study what you really want. You see, even there, they still give you other like studies to study when it is not like the one that you want. So it's problem. It's another problem. So there have to be another like changing. You know, if I want to learn IT or like computer, let me start and from nursery until that is where like I'm gonna reach like in senior C, no P6. I'm able to produce to create an application. So that's why we are so like down, more than abroad now. So that's the thing. That's problem. Yeah.
Just your message to educators. Yeah.
Jesus. To educate us again. I think oh my my advice on them, they have to be patient. And second, they have to be open to any kind of ideas we have. Because as the youngest, we have many ideas, many problems, many issues. So they have to be open for us, to listen us, to to help us, and then to bring something which is new for us. And then the third one, on my friend have said, we have to make something which is like school, but from nursery teach what we want to do in our future. Yeah, to change the system. Can you imagine? I'm going to senior four, and then they have French, senior Rwanda, what? Jesus, come on. Can you imagine? And then you have math there, physics, Jesus. In computer, can I use the physics for coding or what? I don't need physics or mathematics. I need the C programming, C plus plus, Rust, Go. I need that things. Can you imagine you?
And exactly in computer, there's still an other maths which is inside there. So it's not there's no need to put another math which like aside.
They have to combine it in one.
To create a balance.
Yeah, for sure. If you want to do something and you want to study something which is new, which will help me for my future or my future generation, I have to study in nursery. And when I grow up, I get the new knowledge. And then you are getting now at 15 years, 20, then you're out within 3 years. And then where is the experience? Zero. And then you are going to search the job. Who gonna to hire you? Jesus. We have to do that things for the next generation. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So for advice or message to schools, educators, so teachers, educators, school need to, just as you said, they need to be open, right? They need to be open-minded. What do I mean? There is this very wrong perspective we have about school. So school is usually where you go, you sit down, someone just stands there, teaches you, and that person doesn't even want you to contribute or tell him, I think you're wrong. I think we should go this way. Imagine telling your lecturer that you're wrong. I think you're supposed to, And then the last thing, examination. I think exams is one of the things that actually, puts fear in people about school. Okay.
You got the
A lot
point.
of people are raised, what we see as graduates today are actually people who have been successfully passing exams than people who have actually acquired knowledge. All right. Because these people are more interested in what is going to come out when we are writing our next quiz or writing our next examination. People who are just trying to make sure that they don't repeat any class, they just continue moving from year one to year two to year three, and then at the end we graduate people who are academically intelligent but then practically ignorant, right? Because of their focus is examination. Let me be sure that I pass this examination. So
Yeah.
I think school needs to be decentralized. All right, it shouldn't be this is how it is and this is how it is supposed to be till the very end. Right, allow the people that are listening to you, that you're teaching, to actually tell you, can we, I actually saw in, to, that in class when I was in school, if you dare come to the teacher and say, I actually saw in a current study that this is it, they'll tell you, no, 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 you cannot teach me my job. I have the teacher, and guess what? Some teachers will categorically tell you that, hey, the way I wrote it here, that is how I want it in the exam. Don't try to think about, okay, let me add A and B. It must be this way. So what do? You try to cram the textbook, whatever that was taught, so that once it's time to write your exam, you just dump it there, right? Yeah. So schools need to be open, all right, so that they can actually ensure that whatever the student is studying, right, it's going to, bet someone who is employable, someone who is, sound enough to actually function in any workplace that they have studied to be in.
Another thing that I can add up is that schools nowadays, they're really they're not like educating truly in the way they have to be. They now focus like they have been like a business. Do you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to make money.
If you fail, you have to pay. And somebody who really is not like qualified to like this, they have to be some like max you have to have to internet to be accepted to register in that field that you want. If it's in IT, you don't have qualification like, oh, you have that max to like you to enter in a university, but it ends up you pay more, you enter, you know. And exactly is those guys who really like they don't come in school because they entered in a school when they wasn't qualified. So there's one they dodged some more of the classes, thing like that. So it's really have to be a change. The second thing is that about teachers, like there's some teachers who really like, I don't know, they don't do researches. They come, they give you what you have, like what the yeah. You see, so there's an experience that I passed through. I went in a school, and it ends up like there was a teacher of English, and chemistry. There wasn't like really qualified. Even the student was there. They used to correct the teacher, and the teacher was supposed to be correcting the student. So it's a problem. Yeah. So they have to be a changing. Thank you.
Yeah, and then my own message to educators and to schools, to teacher, is in regards to the curriculum. We already spoke about it. Teachers, the education system, schools need to look into what they are really teaching the children. Is this something that the child still needs, or is it just the regular, just come and just learn? Because there are so many things that we learned when we were in school that even till this very period, it's as if we don't need it. But then the younger children are still learning it. So what do they want to do with it? All right. So my own message is the curriculum that is being used to teach the children, let it be reviewed. We now have AI systems, we have AI tools for educators that can help them to look at these things, put these things on the popular chat GPT, and then it gives you a revised edition. It gives you a current edition. Peter already said that it seemed like we are in we are 20 years 100 years behind, right? So if we as a continent see that we are few years behind, how can we bring ourselves to be current? How can we do to be in 2025? And if we are teaching, we usually teach with curriculum. So the educators, the teachers, the schools need to look into the curriculum. Then lastly, a message to employers based on all what we've spoken about, we've discussed, is that for me, I would say that employers should look beyond the certificates. Yes, the certificates are important, but then sometimes in Nigeria we have what is called sabificates. What it means is what knowing the thing. So you study computer engineering. Do you know the computers very well? If they dismantle the computers right now, the all the buttons are all over the place. Can you couple it together? Or did you just study computer engineering just by theory? So my message to employers is to look beyond the certificates, look at the person that you're employing. Is this person teachable? Is this person ready to work? Is this person ready to listen to the few instructions I want to give the person aside from all the certificate the person has gotten? Look beyond all of this so that you can be able to get people that are really ready to do the work and people that are, they have passion for that thing that you want them to do for your company. Thank you.
All right. Sorry to take us a little back. So, in line with curriculum review, I think this is also the part that African government need to come in, right? And probably assign some people, probably professors, if need be, to go on what I call educational tour, right? Go to the West, go to China. From 8 years right now, um, Chinese children are mandated before, right, to learn AI, to learn tech. So these are people that have seen this is where the world is going. Let's start preparing our next generation in line with this, right? But in Africa, the case is still different. They still go kindergarten and nursery still go to sing A is for apple, B is for ball. All right. So this is where government need to actually come in to look at educational curriculums and demand a review. All right, demand a revision. Okay, then for employers, just as you said, employers need to understand that CVs are not the only criteria to hiring someone. Okay, and then that mindset of you must have been to a college, have BSc, have B engineer or masters and all that. I'm not regarding people who have actually taken self-paced courses online as people who also qualify. That is not right. Okay, I think job interviews should be all right. We have 10 people applying for this role. This is what we want you to do. Now, do it. Whoever that did it very well, right, you're the one qualified for the job. I think a more practical based interviews is way better than looking at CVs and looking at someone talk, because there are some people that may not be able to talk, but those guys are good, right? They may not be able to say it or answer your questions verbatim the way you're expecting it. But if you actually give them the thing to do, right, they will get it done, right? So when we look beyond all of those things and then look at how well the person is actually able to do whatever thing you're expecting of him, I think it's a much better way or requirement when hiring new staff. Yeah.
Do you have something?
Yes, just
Okay.
For me, about the employees, what I think is that has to be done globally. Let me say it like that. Is that like if they're going to really like, I'm not gonna be far from you guys. Like, there has to be like, let me say, is this a system or the way to pick? You know, as I said, like has to be not looking about the service or to see like about the certificates, but as long as they are able to do that thing that you really want them to do, why not? Can't you pick them? So it's just like changing of mentality of the system, what they have to be done. Yeah, that's the thing.
yeah, and lastly, employers that is watching this conversation, please pay your staff well. You know, when you pay people well, they do the work well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, and we we've come to the end of this conversation. Thank you.